Welcome to Crypto Info, so Red Eye Jedi. So in this one, I want to break down how Elon Musk could have been invested in Ripple for a very long time and had to keep it quiet. Here's how. So as you know, Elon Musk, he was a boy genius. At the age of 12, he invented a game called Blaster, and he sold that game just as an average kid does, create their own game and code it up and whatnot. But yeah, he ended up doing that at 12. So you're dealing with a special kid here already. And then in his later teens, he ended up developing a company called XPay. And this company basically wanted to do global cross-border payments. They never actually succeeded at doing that. And they actually turned the company in June 2001 from X.com. It was renamed to PayPal. And on October 3rd, 2002, eBay purchased it off Elon Musk and his co-founders for 1.5 billion. So keep that in mind, that he wanted to do something and he didn't make it happen, which was the cross-border payments, the global settlement system. And he never did that. And then from there, he took his money and he invested in a couple of companies. Obviously, we know he invested in Tesla and he invested in SpaceX. And then we know what happened from there. But if you break it down, you see what this guy was trying to do. With Tesla, you can see he's basically achieved everything that he wanted to do with, obviously, he's come through with the cars. And we have, obviously, that's the transport covered. Then you have the solar powered roofs, which obviously that's energy covered. So he's covered two major things there. Obviously, then he's moving on to the houses as well. And then you have, which is obviously shelter. So he's covering three main things that people need here. And now he's bringing out the robot as well. I'm not too sure if that's a necessity, but I'm sure people are getting lazier, so it will become a necessity, and busier as well, and maybe have less time to do things. So they'll need someone to do, the odd jobs for them. So, maybe people are looking at it at the moment that it's a bad thing, but, mobile phones were bad at one point, and then now everyone has them in their house. So, look at it like that. It'll be an extension of yourself. Obviously, then with SpaceX, we know what he's doing with that. He's, trying to get humanity to Mars and you can see here what they're doing, with the biggest ever rockets ever made. Again, I just want to make it clear that even on this Tesla situation, he covered everything that he wanted to do. Solar panels, solar roof, the charging stations. He got everything done. He wanted it done. He done it. So it makes me think that going back to the XPay situation, PayPal, he wanted to do it, but he never got it done. So as I continue. Now, so we go into the SpaceX. He wanted to move people to Mars and get the flight, return the rockets. He's done it all. He's done everything that he wanted to do. He wants to get people to, obviously he hasn't done the Mars thing yet, but it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. He's also got the Neuralink chip, to help people. He's covering every necessity possible. It might not seem important now that we need to get to Mars, but if there's an imminent meteor strike, I'm sure it will be very important, and he'll be the man to do it. So little things like this. Also, we have Starlink, which is, as you can see here, is a high-speed internet connection worldwide. And this makes me think that I've heard rumors that possibly there's a node on there which basically no matter what, it will be able to make transactions. This is already proven to be able to bring internet to anywhere in the world, any space, any square meter in the world. They can bring you internet. They just move the satellite. So you've seen the tweets where he says, he'll just put it over Ukraine, or he'll put it over this country or that country, Iran, and then they have free internet. And these are things that also, again, if you need internet, if you need to pay something and you're in the middle of nowhere, or whatever, the internet's down for whatever reason, this is the perfect solution for it. We at the moment run our internet, there's a cable going across the Atlantic Ocean, which is mental, to connect all the but this is obviously a step ahead and is the future. With it as well, I think that if you need to make a payment to whoever, wherever, whenever, you're going to be able to use this company. And I think it's going to become, again, another necessity. So he's got that covered. Then you go to the Boring Company. And again, this just started off as just a little joke. It's just a little, they started selling the caps. Then he's doing the blowtorch guns and so on and so on. And then it moves on to, actually, this company is going to solve the problems in Los Angeles where they build tunnels and people can transport underground. This is such a genius thought that obviously they've gone ahead with it now. And you can see that they're planning on doing miles and miles and miles, and it cuts off so much time, which then cuts emissions, which then, it just has a massive knock-on effect, which is, a good thing. So that's another thing that he thought of and he wanted to do, and he's done it. The space Starlink as well. He thought of it, he wanted to do it, he's done it, he's executed on it. And then it makes me think, this little problem with the XPay situation. He thought of it, he never executed it. So that makes me think, As you know, there's a situation with the SEC and Elon Musk. And basically, Musk violates the agreement by tweeting inaccurate information about Tesla production levels without the first seeking the approval from his lawyers. So we ended up getting in trouble for that. And we've all seen the video where he says,
I want to be clear. I do not respect the SEC. I do not respect them.
So people, why is he trolling? He always has a dig at them. He always has this and that. But one thing he never, ever, ever, ever talks about is XRP. He never talks about Ripple. He never talks about XRP. So, we all seen the tweets about Doge. He talks about bloody Cumrocket and all these other stupid coins. He never talks about XRP. And it makes me think, is this part of the gag clause that he has with the SEC? You can see that here that Elon Musk has a gag order on him from the SEC and he can't talk about certain things. And it makes me think he's throwing all these tweets around about Dogecoin and, other coins like that, making them pump, which is obvious that's market manipulation. He may get in trouble for it in the future, but he obviously doesn't care. He doesn't respect the SEC. He said that.
I do not respect the SEC.
But it makes me think, is he part owner of Ripple? Because we know the shares are going up for sale. People have already started to buy them. You can buy them on certain sites already. Is he one of the first investors in this company? It makes me think that why does he never talk about this? This solves all the problems that he wants, cross-border payments, the global settlement. That's exactly what he was into. You telling me that this guy in the billionaire circle, that he didn't know about XRP and Ripple? You trying to tell me that? This one of the smartest people to ever walk this earth has never thought about, maybe I should get involved with that company and buy some of that company? Or do you think that because the SEC case before where he had a gag order on him and he sort of learnt his lesson, he don't want to talk about something that he's invested in already, which may pump the price? That's why he's possibly deflecting it to Dogecoin and things like that, because there's no one that owns Doge and it's not a centralized currency, whereas obviously we know that Ripple have got 50% of XRP in escrow. So maybe it could be damaging if he starts to talk about it. This is my thought process, that a smart guy like him who's accomplished everything that he wanted to, whether it's covering energy, transport, protection with a robot, potentially shelter with your housing. He's got the satellites with communication. He's moving potentially people to Mars. He's trying to repopulate another planet. And it makes me think that you're telling me that this guy who wanted to do all these things has just given up on the fact that he wanted to do the global cross-border payments. I don't think so. I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me. And the fact that he never mentions it, even though he says he doesn't respect the SEC, says that maybe he's been advised not to talk about this at all. And I would love for someone, whoever listens to this video, if you ever come across him, please ask him about it. Ask him about the Ripple case. And obviously we know, now thinking of Starlink, again, just to go back on this for a second, if you have a global payment system, or let's say internet, and you have global internet free no matter what, and you have a company, for example, like Ripple, that are going to be involved in the World Economic Forum's, if you see here, is for moving money around the world for businesses. Basically, that's what it is, via crypto. They already do it now, and it's just waiting for the settlement to happen. Or the case to be over. And we can see that if you know about the ISO 20022, that SWIFT and all these others are going to be changing over, and they're moving over to this ISO 20022 by 2025 at the latest. And they're already starting to do it, as you can see. Some of them have already gone live. This is to do with, which is to do with the World Economic Forum, and they've also recommended or have Ripple on board as well. And obviously Ripple use XRP. You can see that Ripple's They have offices in New York, London, Mumbai, Singapore, Sao Paulo, can't even say that one, Washington, DC, and Dubai. And these places are not by accident. It's because they're financial capitals around the world. That's why they've got them there. And again, World Economic Forum, they're the ones who push the narrative. And if they say it goes, and it's that simple. So these are the reasons why we have all these certain rules with all sorts of stuff going on. So if you look at that, then, and he never talks about it. So the World Economic Forum, where, you know, they go, these people go to Davos. He goes to Davos. You're telling me they don't talk about it? You're telling me that? They don't talk about that stuff, or how they're going to develop the next big thing. No, I don't see it for me. I think that they do conversate, and he knows fair well to keep his mouth shush about it. And there's something else going on behind the doors. I've had this same conversation with a friend of mine, and he was like, the fact that he never talks about it, he doesn't respect the SEC, he wanted to do cross-border payments, he didn't make it happen, but every other thing that he's ever tried, he's made it happen. From a child. And you're telling me this man just give up on that idea, and you've got a company like Ripple that are doing exactly what he says and wants to do, and he hasn't invested a single penny in it. I think it's ridiculous, and I think he has invested in it, and he can't talk about it because obviously he has the SEC gag rule on him. He's even brought up a case about that as well. So he's trying to appeal that, saying it's against his American rights. I don't know which one it is. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. And if you would have heard over the last few days, or even today, actually, I've heard this morning that, he has to, or he is, in fact, now buying Twitter. And I thought, okay, I'll just have a little look at his Twitter because I haven't really seen much about it. And it made me think, okay, I'll have a little look. And what did he tweet? Buying Twitter is an accelerant to creating X, the everything app. I'll say that again. Buying Twitter is an accelerant to creating X, the everything app. That's Elon Musk, 107 million followers. Creating X, he could have said anything. And you said X, the everything app. Do you think that's a coincidence? He calls SpaceX, you got the Model X, XPay. You're telling me he doesn't want an XRP? This creating X. Do you reckon XRP might be the payment system on that app, the everything app? You know, there's a lot of things that I'm maybe missing out on, or I'm connecting these dots, and it just makes me think, does this man have a bigger interest in Ripple and XRP than we are all clued up to and have an idea about? That's my thoughts on this. So that's all I've got to say in this video. And if you liked it, then like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.